Hey, listeners! What is up? What is up? This is a part two to my story time. This means war. um, I'm just hyped for now. Oh my gosh, I should be tired. I did a bunch of dancing videos earlier, a bunch of shorts and whatnot. It's been fun. Oh my gosh, it's been fun. And I did my hair in a different style. I usually just have it down every single day, but I actually wash my hair in these twists. And I got my scalp real good. All I have to do is just moisturize it completely. I already put leave-in conditioner. I need to put in oil, but that may be boring. I don't know if you want to see a video of that. I'm gonna make a shorts of that soon. I don't know. But anyway, let's continue on with the video because this is part two. Yeah. So to recap a bit, last video I did a whole background of how my relationship with Paint was. If you don't know who Paint was, they're a former friend and whatnot, former best friend. I had more than one best friend back then, but I mainly had this drama with this one. And it was my first ever drama, first ever falling out with somebody outside of, like, I guess my family. Just first ever drama with a friend, with someone outside my family, someone like that ever. So that's why I'm doing this story. It was also me, like, also reciting how I was irrational a lot of the times. I was guilty for a lot of stuff I had did, essentially. And I want to just base it on hormones, but it can't just be that. Like, that's the thing is, it was some other shit and stuff like that. It took me a while to actually get over that shit, but I did, so it's like nothing's impossible. But yeah, anyway, finished with recap. That was a little too brief. I don't want to say too much. I should put a link in the thing, be like, oh yeah, click the link in this corner. I don't know how to do that shit yet, but yeah. Paint is also a tiny figure, tiny, like, not even really a part in my first ever story time and whatnot. What happened with me and Shock, where he spilled tea on me and whatnot and tried to embarrass me in front of our other friends. So yeah, watch that too, by the way. Oh my gosh, I should just put the link in the description. I'm gonna try to do that. Okay. So anyways, we're continuing off with after she had basically stopped being friends with me, or wanted to stop being friends with me, on the first week of 8th grade, by the way. Now, this meant war once I had basically something snapped. I was so mad because someone else knew my name and I never seen their face before. I was just like, who is this person and why are they calling my name? The type of name I have, I said A-list in the last one. The type of name I have is, I'm not gonna say it's basic. It caters to me. Like, I look like that name. So it's like, it's not like no Alyssa or Sarah or Dejanay or, like, Tiara or some shit like that. Like, it's nothing like that. So for them to be able to say my name, not a hard name to say, it's just that, like, how the fuck did they say my name? And then it's like, oh yeah, they don't know who I am. How does this person know who I am? Like, they're not supposed to know who I am. I don't have no common ass name. Like, how the fuck do they know it to say it and stuff like that? So yeah. So as you know, it grinded my fucking gears. I was just like, okay, so now we telling people now. Okay, this is like right afterwards. So after that, I had basically blew up on Paint. I was texting them nonstop about that. I was just like, so now we laughing. Now it's funny. We laughing with it. And from my memory, I was irrational a lot of times, so I don't want to just mischaracterize it. They were pretty calm. They were angry that I was blowing up. Like, they were calm in that, like, they weren't immediately blowing up at me like how I was blowing up with them, but they were angry that I was even blowing up to begin with, because what the hell, we're not friends anymore, so why do you care that someone's knowing about you? But see how I was, I'm gonna just let you know how I was. If I had a problem with a person, I would go to straight up to that person. I wasn't gonna go to my friends and just tell all about it. I had bad anger too. Like, I was shy a lot of times, but I had bad anger too. If I had an issue with you, I'd most likely more so yell at you than actually go and tell a friend. Like, that's the thing is, like, so yeah, I was like, okay, now we're on that type of shit. Now, keep in mind, with Paint, she had already told some of her friends about our situation. So when I tell you, man, this year, I'm smiling remembering it because, like, bro, I did not react well at the time, like how I should have. This year, there'll be times I go to class and then it's like a break in between classes, the 5 minute break before then, and I would just be standing by the door because the teacher's not there yet, and then I would just be spacing out, and then randomly I would see an individual walk by, and it was Orange. Y'all don't know who Orange is in the last video. I did not want to give them a name because I was just like, their part isn't very important to the story. Bitch, it's slightly important because the way they looked at me, I was thinking they finna argue and fight me right then and there. So I looked back at them because I was just like, I had bad anger too. I had a fucked up, twisted face back then. Like, you know, not fucked up, twisted face, but I twist my face up to look fucked up, like how they were looking at me. And I was just like, who the fuck is this? I was just like, who is this? Because I'm used to people looking at me crazy. Back then, I was bigger. A lot of people looked at me with disgust. Maybe not because I was bigger. I thought it was because I was dirty or unclean. But no. They just didn't like my face. They thought it was ugly. And it was both guys and girls. Mainly guys. Mainly girls in middle school. Guys in high school looked at me like that. It was not cool. But yeah, how that person was looking at me, I was just like, ooh. And then I realized who they were, and I was even more mad. I was just like, so now they trying to look at me all insane. Like, who the fuck do they think they are? I was like that. And it had hit a head. Was this before or after another moment? It had hit a head where I was just really angry so much of the time. It was hard to calm me down. There was a friend, B from the first story time. We're bringing it back. B originally was a close friend to Shocker, or was it Shock or Shocker? Shock. I'm gonna just call him Shock. I think that was his original name in the first story time. Shock, right? He was a close friend of Shock. B was such a good friend. I had him for an English class and whatnot. He was so funny and so familiar. He felt like a brother to me. Like, he felt really close to me. There's another story time on B, actually. I'm deciding whether or not I want to do it. But there were a lot of times he told jokes and whatnot. He really wanted me to get Discord to play with his other friends. He was just so cool. Him and Hoodie were just so cool. So that's what calmed me down a lot, being around him and whatnot. And then it had hit a head. I don't think he was there that day. And I was in my science class. And may I just say, I took my teacher outside. I just told her about it because I felt really comfortable with this teacher. And I kind of broke down. I was just like, I'm so sorry, but if you see that I'm not speaking up in class more, or I'm not just here, I'm not spacing out on purpose. I'm sorry. This year hasn't been the greatest for me. And she understood very well. It's just I just needed someone. Not only did I need someone to talk to, I needed someone I felt very comfortable with talking to. Back then, I had some strict parents. With this drama, I made the mistake of telling them about it and not telling them in a way to where it's just oh, it's not as bad as it was. I told them how bad it really was, and that was not right. They're very protective, so it's I didn't tell both my parents. I told my mom and my sister, and their reaction to it was they tried the best they could, but it's kind of basically it was an ultimatum at one point. If I don't get over it, I'll have to switch schools, because it was my first drama ever. Never fought this person, by the way. It was just getting that bad, and I was just like, oh wow, oh shit, okay. So after that, still upset, still mad. I may be telling things out of order. I'm not gonna try to do them in too big of order, but I knew it hit ahead mainly because more people were knowing about this drama. Before I told this teacher, more people were knowing about this drama. These were people that were both me and Paint's friends, and it was stressing me out because I was just I'm not gonna tell these people about this drama. I have a problem with you. I'm gonna tell you the issue. And they kept asking me why we stopped being friends. I was like, oh no, we're not doing this shit. I was we're not doing this shit. I wasn't laughing. I was irritated as fuck back then. But I was just we're not doing this shit. And my reaction, since I was so emotional, I think I came off as a bitch, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I was just you wanna know why? You should ask her. You should be asking her this. I just bitch aggressive, and it's yeah, bitch, why are you so aggressive? You're not even mad at them, you're mad at this individual. So yeah, And then even Shock asked, I was like, oh my gosh, please, everybody. He was like really upset. And then in the halls, like going to class and whatnot, this was after PE and whatnot, going to class, I saw that Shock was like talking to me. And then randomly Paint was in the hallway because it was going to class and whatnot after PE. And he was talking to them and he asked them why, because I wasn't willing to say why we stopped being friends. I was just like, go and ask them. And then he actually did. And I was just like, oh my gosh, Shock. Because he was a friend of us both. We were all close friends. So it's like, of course. So that was before I told my teacher. Then afterwards, oh, sorry, this camera's moving a lot. Afterwards, oh my gosh. There was a moment when me and Paint were still friends. I'm just going to give a little backstory. We were talking on FaceTime and whatnot, or texting more so on FaceTime and talking and whatnot. And Paint had a mutual friend. Should I even get, not a mutual friend of mine, just a friend. I don't know why I said mutual. Should I give them a name? I'm going to give them Fart. Fart. I don't even know why they were talking, but Fart. He was so rude. And he would down her for, like, you know, her weight and her family situation and whatnot. And I was just like, who the fuck is this? Like, and then at one point he tried to roast me. And I was just like, okay, I'm not really with it. And then he was revealing that Paint and him were talking about me at some points. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not really upset. I don't believe anything he said. Should I have believed anything he said? No. They had multiple falling outs and whatnot. And it was like, you know, during that time as well, understandable, like, you know, things happen, friends stop and whatnot. So yeah, that was when me and Paint were still friends. Now afterwards, when I tell you, after all the friends asking me, yapping in my ear, like, oh my gosh, why aren't y'all friends anymore and whatnot, I had gotten a text from Paint, because we were still texting on Kick. Kick was gonna be the death of us if we continued, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, so we were still texting back and forth and whatnot. And then Paint randomly asked me, like, hey, are you still talking to Fart? I was so mad. I'm sorry, my reaction. I was pissed the fuck off. I was livid, actually. I came to school. This is one thing where I guess it hit a head or a climax or whatnot. I went into Paint's face and was just like, why would you ask me that? Like, you know, why are you still talking to me and whatnot? No, actually, I said, why are you asking me that, I think? And they said, yeah, because I just texted them. They had a falling out before, and then they started texting again. And I was just like, why are you talking to this person? They downed you for their weight. And keep in mind, Fart was also overweight, too. So I was just like, and he was talking about her situation with her family. I was just like, Fart literally did these things and you're still talking to him. Like, why? But, yeah, like, I got into their face. Then I turned around. Tell me why an administrator was already there. It was during lunchtime too, so of course, you know, the principal and administrator were already there. They didn't reprimand me or nothing. Like, it probably wasn't as dramatic as I thought it was, but I was like right there. I speed walked because we got to eat outside and whatnot. My class did, and I speed walked over to where they were, and I confronted them about that. And I'm not a confrontational ass person. I was just really mad during that time, so I was just like, ugh. So yeah, and then I went back inside, I stormed back inside, but then I saw the administrator was right there. I was just like, what am I doing? Like, I had to reprimand myself when I went into the line to get food. What am I doing? Like, I was just like, in my head, just like, why the fuck did I do that? What am I on? What is going on right now, man? What is happening? So yes, oh my gosh. Another time where it got bad was when basically, this was around the time, I think it was at the beginning. What was it? It's like we're trying to remember the order. Why am I trying to remember chronological order? Basically, my other best friend. Ooh, what did I call them? Oh my gosh, did I even name them? Oh my gosh, did I even include them in this? I can't remember their name. I'm probably gonna have to rename them. Shit, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to rename them. I'm gonna call them Green. My other best friend, Green. We would usually role play, and then she would tell me about her situation, and her situation was, during that time, at the beginning, I couldn't understand when, like, you know, my friends went through some really bad times that made them do things that I just never could comprehend, nor have the, like, intention to do. So I was not as, like, you know, sensitive to those matters, but over time, I became more sensitive to that matter and whatnot. It was just because, like, how my family thought and how I was thought of and whatnot, it was kind of like, I didn't react too well to it. So over time, I became better with it. But I basically confided into them about the situation. Now, this was me telling them in that I did not want them involved at all. Like, I was even telling them, I was just like, I don't want you involved in this. Like, I was just like, I just want advice. Like, you know, I don't know if you went through falling outs with your friends and whatnot, but this one's really bad. I don't know if, like, how to really go through this and whatnot. I don't think I said those exact words, but I think that was what I was intending to say and whatnot. Tell me why. Tell me why. The next day, as we were going to the buses, Paint ran up to me being like, oh yeah, thanks so much, A-List. Now I lost a friend. I was like, hold on, what? I was like, no, I wasn't laughing. I was like shocked. I literally stopped talking to my other friend who I was having a good conversation with. I literally stopped talking to my other friend and they ran. Paint was haul assing to her bus. I was just like, damn, wait a minute. And then I ran to Paint bus and stuff like that. And then Paint was already on the damn bus and like calling through the window. I was just like, wait, what? What happened? What? And they were just like, oh yeah, ask them. I was like, huh? Like, I can't. I was like, what's going on? And then I saw my best friend Green. And I was just like, what happened? And then Green was basically saying, yeah, we're not friends anymore. Like, oh yeah, we're not friends. And I was like, what? And may I just say, how I react back then was not mature as I wanted it to be. I texted Green. I was aggressive with it. I shouldn't have been, but I was trying to hammer it in. I was just like, I did not want you in my situation. I just wanted advice and whatnot. I didn't want you in my situation. I don't ever want any of my friends in my situation and whatnot. And then some people may be like, oh yeah, well you went to them about your situation and told them. What did you expect? Bitch, for them not to be in it, like fuck, like nah, I just can't, cause it's drama. Like, you know, if someone tell me about a certain drama, I'm not gonna, like, you know, that okay, never mind. I'm speaking for me right now. Me back then in 8th grade, I was young, like, you know, probably would have, like, if I'm gonna just be dead for real with you, probably would have, like, how they did, cause how they were in it, it's like they weren't like dead fist in it, but Paint literally thought that they lost a friend to that. And I was just like, you ain't lose no damn friend. Like, bro, you ain't lose no friend. But yeah, I, like, you know, talked to Green about it. More than just talk. I think I was bitchy with it. But yeah, once I got home, I talked to Paint a little bit about it. So fast forwarding all of this, like, you know, throughout the year, just basically going back and forth with Paint over Pick, just arguing with them nonstop, you know, both of us going too far at some points. There were times where I would be texting her first and just, like, you know, berating her and whatnot, you know, like calling her out of her name, whatnot. There's one time where, like, what did I say to her and what did she say to me? I said my memory was so good, I remember everything. Bitch, I was a lie. Why did I do that? But yeah, I think I remember them, like, one time I opened my phone. This one's actually funny. I opened my phone, and then it said, like, oh, well, you're a boring bitch. And I was like, what? Bitch, I was so mad. Because I think I said something really shitty beforehand, and then they got me with that. And I was just like, damn, this bitch, bro. I was like that. And, bro, it was like that a lot. Like, it was so stupid. Like, if I'm gonna be honest with you, there were many points, and looking back at it now, to where that first week of middle school where she stopped being my friend, that was a test. I'm realizing it now. Like, you know, the lesson was, should I just let it go or should I let it keep going and whatnot? And I should have let it go, because it would have been easier. Like, you know, it didn't feel easy to let it go. It was very hard a lot of times, but it would have been easier. I just could not see my own faults in it because I was too mad at that other individual for their involvement in what all went down and whatnot. I was too mad. I was just like, you did things I would never do. You did this, you did that. But I wasn't berating myself completely for what I did. I was berating myself a little bit, just not completely. Like, bitch, you were literally like this, then, and the third. Now, tell me why I was on some peaceful shit at the end of the, I think it was 9th grade. Was it 9th grade or was it the very end of 8th grade? Very end of 8th grade, I was on some peaceful shit. I was talking with them and I was, like, trying to be, like, you know, trying to go back into a more mature setting and whatnot. And then it was revealed that they were like with their friend, and their friend started texting through them. And I just felt really sick at the time. Like, I wasn't sick as in, oh, I have a cold. More like I was sick, like, I'm sick of this shit. Like, I'm over here trying to like argue with you, like, trying to argue with you beforehand I was. But now I'm over here trying to like actually have a conversation, because all this started because neither of us could actually stop this shit. So it's like, and now you're doing the shit that you did before. You're involving people that never needed to be involved. They don't have an issue with me. You have an issue with me. And I have an issue with you. And so we're just going to either duke it out or actually talk. Like, that's the thing. And then here's the thing about trying to do that shit at the very end. This is the type of shit you should have been did at the very start. I tried to do that and I expected something different, but nothing gonna be different. I deserve that shit, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Not the friend cutting in. I ain't deserve that shit. I was ready to rip somebody's fucking neck off. I was just like, who the fuck is this? But like, I was ready for that shit. But at the same time, I was just like, I deserve to be, with this friend. I deserve all their anger and whatnot, because I was an asshole to them. So yeah. Now, this is going to be the last part. The effect it had on me was that since I was angry so much, when I had made new friends, new close friends I'm still close with now, I can say wholeheartedly at the time, I didn't deserve them, because some of my habits from that friendship were bleeding into these new ones. Like, there'd be times where I just, like, except I got even newer habits. I sulked a lot. Like, I was just, like, mulling over in my head how I really didn't like how I was turning out, how my life was turning out, how I was angry at this one person all the time. Like, there were points where whenever I saw paint, I just felt a hostile feeling. Like, that's not good, to just always feel like you have to be ready for something. Like, always feeling like you have to be on guard and some shit. Always feeling like you're angry all the time. It's not a good feeling. But at the same time, it's like, with paint, they probably felt like they had to walk on eggshells with me a lot of the time. They probably feel like every time they come in, they can't be themselves fully, because they have to expect the immature ass response from me. Like, that's probably how they felt a lot of times. So it's like, I can't be mad. So yeah, I can't be mad at all. But yeah, it bled over into it. I sulked a lot. I had an irritable attitude sometimes. There were times where just like, also in high school too, for a little bit, they would tell like certain jokes, my newer friends, and they would be dirty jokes, and I would just be annoyed. But the thing was that I had a dirty mind too. We all watched not safe for work content and whatnot. So yeah, and I had a dirty mind too. So it's like, why am I getting annoyed at these jokes? Why am I getting annoyed in general? Like, what is wrong with me? I just wasn't happy with myself. I don't think I've ever been truly happy with myself once it came to like moving. Yeah, I don't want to blame it completely on moving. I'm not going to blame it completely on moving to a new state. Not state. Oh my gosh. A new area. Not state. Shit, I ain't moved to another state. But yeah, I just don't think like, I don't think I was myself for a while. But anyways. But yeah, I was in the process of getting over myself, and it was so hard. And I also was developing trust issues too. I was just like, damn, I don't know if I can get too close to these girls and whatnot. Like, they may like, I tell them something, or they get annoyed with me. They may tell their other friends something, and then it's going to be all over again. Because that was traumatizing. If I'll be honest with you, that was a bit traumatizing for me. I was just like, damn, I didn't realize that me having like, being like this and having an issue with somebody, it will result in this one person telling multiple people about this shit, to where they know my fucking name and I ain't never seen these people before. Like, ew, what is going on? Like, that's the thing. It really traumatized me. A lot of times I was like on guard and whatnot, but I know like, in some ways I deserved it. At the same time, I was like, damn, this not only sucks, I felt even worse towards this person. And I was just like, and I think it never went away, like, until literally the end of high school. I'm sorry. I'm being honest. I'm being a little too honest here. It was very hard for that feeling to actually go away. So yeah. Now, let's go to the stupidity. After all that had went on, and I'm fast forwarding a little bit, in part 3, I have more to say in regards to after, post friendship breakup and whatnot. But yeah, afterwards, still contacting Paint and whatnot, and Paint would contact me, or when I would text Paint, they would text back and whatnot. Just all of that. For the longest time, I had this really weird empty feeling where I was just like, dang, you know, because with Paint, I was just like, I never knew how, like, even though through our argument and breakup or whatnot, I still felt this weird trust issue thing where I was just like, damn, whenever Paint is around my friends and whatnot, I just feel like something's off. Or I was just like, I never know how they actually felt in this whole situation with it, like to a full degree. Because I was just like, damn, I got angry a lot. I would say how I really felt, but when it came to Paint, they would never say fully how they felt and whatnot. And I know it would probably shatter my spirit, but I was just like, damn, you know, like, I wanted to know and whatnot. But yeah, but I may not have deserved to know, of course. But yeah, this is gonna be the end. Part 3 is gonna probably come up soon. All I have to do is just watch the end of this video and whatnot to actually remember it, because in the other one, I don't think I remembered a lot of it. But yeah, this is nice. I keep looking to the side because my clock is over here. But yeah, this was pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, I like it. Anyways, this is gonna be the end for this video. This was pretty sweet and whatnot. Stay tuned for part 3, and there's gonna be more story times. I like doing story times, so yes. Anyways, that's gonna be it, and may peace be with you for an eternity.